We've dreamt of doing something big for a while now. During 2020, we decided what that big thing would be. We were going to buy a sailboat, move aboard, and sail the world. We spent the next 2 years planning and saving, hoping to make our dream a reality, and now we're finally doing it. Hi, we're Laura and Stu. We bought our boat Delfino in October 2022, and we spent the next 9 months getting her and ourselves ready for full-time cruising. The time felt like it flew by, while at the same time dragging on forever. We were so excited to start our adventure, but the preparations were harder than we expected.
It was scary for me. My experience of DIY before moving onto the boats was limited to building IKEA furniture, and suddenly we've got this beautiful boat that needs a lot of work, and I was nervous about getting it wrong or about damaging her, and it's taken me a while to get over that and notice that actually when we are doing work on the boat, we are improving it. We are getting better at the DIY as we go along.
We were both working mostly full time, and it was way too cold to actually enjoy the boat. So we didn't do much sailing, so that was pretty tough. But we were both super excited to cast the lines and start sailing.
We knew that packing our lives up to move on board would be hard, but knowing something in theory and living the reality are two very different things.
Everybody always says moving on board to a boat is hard work, and let me tell you, they are totally right. The difficulty of finding places for things to live on a boat is really hard. It's lots of small, awkward spaces. There was a lot going on in that period. Luckily, it was a bit of a heat wave, so we had great weather, so at least that was one thing that we didn't have to worry about.
It was a heat wave, so we were moving all of our boxes in 25 to 30 degree heat, and it was much emotionally tougher than I expected.
Finally, it was time for us to untie the lines and set off on our adventure.
Let's go sailing.
Here we go. Development, step one.
It felt very much like our whole life was changing overnight, and I don't do well with uncertainty, so that was a little bit of a struggle for me.
For our first summer on board, we headed up to Scotland to learn the ropes. It was the perfect place for our first few months aboard. Familiar enough not to be daunting, but exotic enough to still feel like a great adventure. We explored some of Europe's most dramatic anchorages, visited cute seaside towns, and saw more wildlife along the way than we'd ever expected. We'd never seen seas with so much going on in them.
It was super remote, which at times I loved, and at times I wish that we'd gone somewhere where there's a bit more happening. But the scenery was stunning, and the sailing was seriously awesome. Protected waters, great weather, great wind. We met some amazing people up there and generally had a great time. Yeah, it was awesome. Truly magical.
It's been a very special summer. We've celebrated so many milestones and overcome a fair few challenges along the way. We've had a lot to learn about how to sail and how to maintain the boat, while also adapting to living in a tiny space.
Yeah, Scotland was a blast.
I feel like we've been towing the line between bravery and stupidity today.
I don't know what you're talking about. Looking back on those early clips, it's clear to me just how much we had to learn. And I think we're still learning. I think every day that you spend on the boat, you learn something. It's a dynamic and a challenging and a complex scenario. I hope you enjoy watching us figure things out and muddle our way through.
And we filmed as much of our journey as we could along the way. So click subscribe to come along with us on our journey from desks to Delfino.